happens every day all over the world. People take to the streets to protest against a perceived injustice. And whenever demonstrators gather, the press is usually there too, capturing the moment with compelling pictures and video. But how can photojournalists get in the thick of the storm without getting tossed around? The answer is they cannot. But for one Florida photographer, capturing the spirit of the protest is worth the risk.
Free people, not free trade!
Everybody loves the First Amendment, but everybody thinks the First Amendment is theirs. You know? That it's their First Amendment and not anybody else's First Amendment. My name is Crespo. I'm a photojournalist. I've covered about 115 protests around the United States. I've taken approximately 30-some thousand photographs. I set out to photograph a period of time in American history, and I wanted to capture what was happening on the streets with these protests. I've also tried to photograph the people, the looks, the faces, the signs. I carry a ride helmet. I always carry a gas mask, camera gear. I've had all kind of experiences. I mean, I've been shot, I've been clubbed, I've been tear gassed, I've been, pepper sprayed, I've been knocked down, I've had equipment broken. It comes with the territory. The thing about photographers is that we're often in the middle. A lot of times we're the ones who are being pushed by both sides. When you have confrontations and people are pressed against each other for periods of time and they're afraid because when police and protesters start pushing each other, you don't know what's going to happen. There reaches this almost a melting point. We probably consider now the modern contemporary protest movement. We started in Seattle with the WTO protest. And since Seattle, you have seen around the country both protesters and police measuring each other, using the techniques and tactics of the last protest to prepare for the next one. In 2000, during the Democratic Convention in Los Angeles, they had turned all of the Southern California police departments into a military situation where they marched them around in 100-man squads. I think we saw a lot of that here in Miami as well. 7,500-man squads, heavily armed, heavily armored, attempting to intimidate and to strike fear in people as a way of control.
This is a warning. This is a unlawful assembly, and you are being asked to disperse immediately.
Here's a situation here where you got cops, you got protesters, everybody's pushing each other. Right here's a guy with a video camera, here's a camera, here's a camera. The problem is now with digital photography, everybody who shows up at a protest has got a camera. I'm always constantly looking for the ability to take a picture without there being 17 cameras, but it's becoming more and more difficult. The 2000 election, I'm happy I live in Florida. The protest took place in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach, Tallahassee, and then of course Washington. There was a good opportunity to be able to photograph people on both sides of a political fight. Elian Gonzalez, I think as everybody in the whole world knows now, was turned over by INS agents to some Miami relatives, and then when the INS determined that he should be returned to his father in Cuba, why, there was a great outcry within the exile community, and then it proceeded to be about 5 months worth of protests here in Miami. Viva Cuba Libre! And then of course the day that they took the young boy away from the house, why, that erupted in some pretty serious, street action. The protest in Tallahassee was centered around the decision of the governor to do away with what were termed affirmative action guidelines in the state. There were well over, I'd say, 20,000, 30,000 people. Haitians have come out on numerous occasions to protest. The interesting thing about the Haitian protests is that they start their protests after work. They've been very peaceful people, but unlike just about all the other protest groups around the country, these are people who come with their families, you know, to express their political concerns and their belief that they're not being treated fairly.
We are peaceful protesters!
We haven't done anything wrong!
My goal was to take photographs of anyone who was angry, who felt the need to go out into the streets.